Roll call.
Teresa Santiago?
Whitney, George Shaw.
And Craig Wagner. Okay, first on the agenda, we have a New Century, 517 Neversink Drive, site plan review.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Ryan Fellenzer with Fellenzer Engineering, and I just wanted to thank everyone for coming tonight and having this meeting. Appreciate that very much. We are talking about 517 Neversink Drive tonight for New Century Film. We are proposing a number of new buildings on site, as well as maintaining a number of existing buildings and their currently approved uses. Really quick, what we are currently proposing is I'll go by the building designations on the site plan. A, residential, there's 2 A buildings there. B1, an 8-room hotel, retail store and restaurant, which was approved in 2021. B2, which is a multi-purpose building, we're now including a film screening hall. B3, an 85-room hotel and costume shop. And B4 are restaurants. The buildings designated C are film studios, and we're going to have a wastewater treatment plant that's designated as item D. And we are looking to keep the flea market and vendor use that we currently have on the site as well. Just to give you an update on a couple of environmental and SECRA items that we've been working on. In response to DEC comments, we have a threatened and endangered species report that was completed by Peter Thorgensen, and that came back with no potential impacts to any of the species that he identified, as well as the DEC and Fish and Wildlife had identified. We have our traffic impact study, which came back with no improvements required for our proposed uses, which is good. A copy was sent to DOT and DPW for their comment. And we are currently undergoing a State Historical Preservation Office Archaeological Phase 2 on the site in response to SHPO comments. So we will be, once that report is done, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to send that to SHPO for their comment and review, and we're anticipating that a letter of no effect will come back on that. With that, I would like to request the board that we feel that we have enough information supplied to the public, the town, engineer, the consultants, to warrant time for public input. So if it's okay with the board, we're going to request a public hearing, scheduling a public hearing to get their input. So that's why we're here tonight, and to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Did you happen to receive the latest comments, the engineer's comments for March?
Yes, I did.
Okay, great. Mr. Fusco, would you
Sure.
mind going through the comments?
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
All right, I did a review, and the SWIP report is still under review, but we have reviewed it enough to see that we need an executed notice of intent and follow through later with a speedies permit. But we haven't quite gotten through it yet because I actually didn't physically get it myself till the end of the week, I believe. The shared parking was removed from the project, and they're proposing a parking garage now. So the parking changed around, but it actually complies and what we need to go to the ZBA with the parking garage. They will need a DEC speedies permit for the sanitary system because it's over 1,000 gallons, and the health department will weigh in on that as well. But we want to see their application and the comments when they come back. The Department of Health, they'll have to submit for a water system permit application, and we want to see the same for that, the report and also the comments. Orange County DPW and the DOT are reviewing a traffic study that was recently provided to them. Mr. Fellinger already spoke about the archaeological, which is fine with us. It makes sense. We're asking that they provide, and it doesn't have to be right away, but I wanted it to be out there if you could think about it, is a cost estimate for public improvements for a bond if it's required by the town. Also, you ought to look at some geotechnical reports, especially for a building such as that large parking garage.
Sure.
But any of the new buildings, you should have that. The board to review the adequacy of the landscape. They did show a bit of landscape on both sides of the property. And internal, they put some in on the parking areas, so they broke up the parking a little bit. And but the board should review that, make sure you're happy with it. Board comments. My recommendation for action was that it's prepared enough to go to 239. Now, when that goes out, you should include their SWIP and everything, you know, the whole thick file, Amanda, when that comes out. Are you doing it or am I doing it?
I'm doing it.
Okay. And I have no issues with setting a public hearing. With 239, you know, check the dates, but we'll need 30 days from when it goes out. So the board can set the hearing date whenever they feel it's appropriate.
The second meeting in April would be the 26th, so that would give me 4 days to get it out.
Public hearing.
Is that good enough for you, man? Public hearing for,
Yeah.
We still need to.
Or it's either May 10th or April 26th, whatever you.
We want to get this information coming back before we set the public hearing for the 26th.
Al, what is your feeling about an environmental impact statement on this project? I mean, you know, over the years, we've said the next time you're gonna do it, the next time you're gonna require it because of the incremental creep here. What is your feeling with this build-out now?
Well, ordinarily, I might have recommended a positive declaration. However, the Felonzer team has crossed their T's and I's and provided sufficient information for me. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go along with me. If you think that this is going to have a positive impact on the environment, then you can declare a positive impact instead of a negative impact. And you can proceed with a draft environmental impact statement, right? Now, most of the material that they are submitting would be encompassed in a draft environmental impact statement. The sewer, you know, the water, they had a archaeological survey pending. They had a birds and bees expert, Mr. Jorgensen, and we have been through the environmental and give negative declarations previously for work on the site. Now, granted, now it's a little more voluminous, but the SWIP report is the biggest item because there'll be more impervious surfaces. And we'll make sure that that is appropriate. So I did not recommend it to you. We had brought it up on the last meeting to say this is what we had to look at. The Felonzer team, I felt, provided enough information. But if you as a board don't believe so, then you have every right to ask for more information and or declare a positive declaration when you know it's going to have impact. Really your decision.
Well, I obviously haven't, I haven't seen any of the information. You have, so I'm relying to a great extent on what you're telling us.
I didn't know, I thought the board had this information.
No, I don't have that information.
Okay.
So I'm relying on the studies and the information that you would receive.
Well, like I said, I think it was a month, more than a month ago, we did another review, and we made mention that it might take a positive impact. But they've followed through with a lot of the same information that you would develop in that DEIS. And we have been on the site over, I can't even tell you, 5 years with different projects on it. And I personally feel that there's enough information for us to make a decision. Now, the decision may not end up being a negative declaration, which is what we're all gearing for. But you need to look at the information that has been provided, and we need to look at it. Like I said, I haven't finished the stormwater pollution prevention plan yet, which I find is probably the most critical component of any project, particularly of this size. because that we have to be concerned with runoff, particularly with the river and everything else right in the backyard. But, yeah, it is a decision. My recommendation is at this point, I'm comfortable with it. If it doesn't mean that this is your last chance to do that. As things proceed, you listen to the public, you come up with your analysis. I would recommend that everything be resent to the board, Amanda, so that they have it available to look at, about the, endangered species, about the archaeological, so you see it firsthand. But
I guess my question is, and I think you answered it, that after the public hearing and based on the information that we received, we still at that time can make a positive declaration then.
Yes, you
We're
can.
not, we're not waiving that now.
you're not waiving anything.
Okay, all right, that was my, okay, fine.
And the bottom line is, at some point, you'll be reviewing it, whether you go the DEIS route or the route we're taking at this point. You have to look at the negative declaration. If you're not comfortable with it at that point, then you have to be made comfortable with it, or there need to be mitigations. In order to get you comfortable with it.
Hi, Michael Blisky.
Yes, sir.
Christine Shapiro, Franklin Barone, representing the applicant. I did speak to the board attorney, Mr. Flosky, when I was on vacation.
Yes, unfortunately.
And he said to me, I called him and said, what would you be looking for tonight? Would it be scheduled for a public hearing? And he said, he's fine with that as long as the engineer was on board with recommending the same. So I think, as Mr. Fusco said, this isn't, a small review where we're just putting in little pieces of information. You're getting all the detail that you would get in a full-blown EIS anyway. And as Mr. Fusco says, we're just looking to get some public, schedule a public hearing, get the input from the public to see if there's other items that should be addressed so that we can move forward. But it's not, just scheduling a public hearing doesn't prohibit you from doing what you need to do, which is your right and your job to do. So.
Well, that's fine, because the more information we get from the public, the happier I'll be, so that's fine with me, based upon what both you and Mr. Fusco was saying,
Thank you.
Yeah, as long as they're not precluded from it. Or do we do that now? Yeah.
So 2:39.
Just write some notes.
Sure. Yeah, as long as, Amanda, you feel like you have enough time to get it out for the last meeting in April,
Yes,
we'll go with that if that's possible.
yeah, that's fine.
Just want to give you enough time to get that out.
Could you get her, how many copies you need for 239?
Most of the stuff's done digitally now,
Oh, okay.
so you can just email me a digital copy. Or-
Yeah, I'll resend you that link that has everything in it. And you
Yes.
PDFs, you can just download it.
Yeah,
No problem.
yeah, it's a big file.
Okay, would the board like to make a motion to set a public hearing for the April 26th,
I'll make that.
2023? I'll second it. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. And then, the board would like to make a motion to send out the GML 239. Second it. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Yes. Is there any other comment from the board? On the application?
Again, appreciate you guys having the meeting tonight, really do. And we look forward to getting the public input and presenting again on the 26th, so appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. The other item we had on the agenda, well, it's not on the agenda. Was for us to make a motion. Excuse me. I don't know if everybody So
Yes.
the county engineer needs to review part.
Thank goodness.
County part.
It's about time.
So I guess what I understand is that they're, because they're overloaded, so items that are not having a significant impact, no, good night.
And I do.
That would have not a significant impact, then I guess we would be able to, I guess, we wouldn't be sending that out for,
Yeah.
Right.
Right, I'll get up here a little closer so I can hear you and I,
Oh.
and you can hear me.
is that, you know what, maybe you could elaborate on what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. Every municipality I work for has got this, and all of them at this point have signed this agreement. Because it really doesn't adversely impact the board, because if you really want to send it to them, even if this agreement says you don't have to, but you want to because you want their input for some sensitive reason, then you could send it to them anyway. Right? But basically, what they're trying to do is, they're having trouble, like everybody else, with hiring new people. There's a lot of development going on in the county, and they've been missing the 30 days a lot. Yeah, not necessarily here so much, I don't believe, but, yeah, it depends on, because they have different people in different sectors. And particularly in the southern part of the county, there's just so much going on down there that, their reviews are coming out 45, 60 days after. And at that point, nobody has to follow them anyway. So it's better that they cut back and really concentrate on the ones that really need it. So that's basically, I gotta give them credit when they know their limitations, So, like I said, every municipality that I've represented and asked me, I concurred with them.
I mean, you look at the stuff that's on there, I mean, it's a waste of time.
Right.
The single-family houses and 3-lot subdivisions.
Right.
It's crazy, so it's about
Right.
time.
Really, if it's a, million square foot, warehouse, let's hear what you gotta say.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff is repetitive to what we do anyway. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever missed anything that they picked up on, other than some minutia, spelling or something like that, which I don't spell that great anyway. So I would recommend it.
Okay, thank you. So we have to make a motion
Can you sign it?
Yes,
You
I'm
can-
pretty sure you can sign it.
from the email you had sent.
That way, the way Glenn said yes, either, yes,
Okay,
him or
good.
Bob, but
Okay,
But we have
he's
to make-
representing no, with Bob being out.
yes.
But we have to make a motion to agree.
You
Yeah,
should.
you make motion second, and then,
All right.
What do you want to pull in?
resolution, is it a resolution?
The
Or is it an
239
agreement?
239
Is it a
agreement with
resolution or an agreement?
with
So
the
I
county.
would say the GML 239 agreement with the county.
Yeah, authorize our
Yeah.
chair to sign the agreement, and I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Yes. Some stuff. And then, okay, the next item on the agenda would be the approval of the March 8th minutes. Would you like to make a motion? Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. All right. Mr. Dean? Anything you want to share?
No,
Okay. Mr. Fusco?
I'm good, just happy to see you all. Glad everybody's here.
Amanda, you have anything? Okay, Teresa, you want to make a motion?
Make
Sure.
a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Hey, man, that was nice, 20 minutes.
No,
Come
it's
on.
like,
Yeah,
it's
what the
like
heck?
the president will sign something like.
That's great.